Hey everyone, welcome back to the Maker's Gonna Learn YouTube channel. My name's Alicia, and I want to talk to you all today about the quickest way to start a t-shirt business. Many times you're going to get on YouTube and you're going to see lots of creators talking about different ways to make t-shirts in bulk. In the crafting community, t-shirts are a huge deal, and we have found one of our most favorite ways to mass produce t-shirts using Maker's Gonna Learn cut files or any of your personal art that you would like to put onto any other t-shirts. We've done some research and we got on Etsy and found a couple of really good custom DTF transfer suppliers, and today we're going to compare a couple of different suppliers and compare their heat settings, their price points, all of that, so that you all can be prepared to start your own t-shirt business. So I've got a couple different transfers right here, and I wanted to give you all a side-by-side comparison so you can really see the differences. And I've got little sticky notes here labeled with the shop names that we used. These are both beautiful prints, but you can obviously see some differences. The first thing I noticed is the size difference. I ordered this one in a 4.5 inch, so it's obviously a little bit smaller, but I ordered this in a 10 inch. And I ordered this in a 10 inch, and you all can definitely tell that one is a little bit bigger than the other. So there are things like that that are going to come up. I think just whenever you're purchasing from a small business, there's going to be small discrepancies and things like that. But the color is also another issue here. So you can see this one, the colors are definitely a little bit more saturated. These are a little bit more lighter. And honestly, I feel like this one's a little bit more true to color. So you're going to see lots of pros and cons with different suppliers. So our first little tip of advice for starting a t-shirt business is to test out different suppliers and see which ones are going to work best for your business. This is going to mean that you may need to order samples, which lots of the Etsy shops offer samples for you to purchase. So you can actually select sample whenever you purchase the item off Etsy, and they're going to send you small samples so that you can test them on your own materials at home or wherever you're running your business from. And then once you decide who you want to go with, you're going to be able to purchase the same image in bulk from that supplier. So you need to find a supplier that offers bulk transfers, and then what you're gonna do is privately message them after you place an order, and you're gonna let them know what file you want and all of that. And I'm gonna show you all exactly how we did it on Etsy so that you're gonna know exactly what to do once you get onto the shop that you wanna purchase from. So once you're on Etsy, what you can do is just come up to the search bar and type in DTF transfers. You're gonna get a lot of different options here. So you can see there are so many, and there's so many to choose from. You're also gonna notice lots of things like gang sheet prints. This is the bulk order. So this is the first one that's catching my eye right now, but you can see right here, gang sheet print, DTF bulk sheets print. And then even if you come down to the other images, you can see how they're printed on these big sheets. And then basically what you're going to be doing is ordering these in bulk, and they're going to come to you, and you're just going to cut them out and press them onto your t-shirt. So it's really nice because you're not having to do the work other than designing it, which personally is my favorite part. I love creating the designs, but this takes out the dirty work of having to print your images and purchase a DTF printer and all of that. So this is a really streamlined way for you all to get the designs that you want to use onto your t-shirts a lot faster. So we're going to be playing around with a couple different Etsy shops today. The first one that we found is this Flower Fashion Store. They had the best prices whenever I was skimming through different shops, and I thought, let's give them a shot. So you can see this is their custom DTF transfer listing. They've got images of samples that they have, but you want to make sure that you are selecting the custom DTF transfers listing, because in this particular shop, there's obviously t-shirts for sale, so you can actually purchase shirts that are already made, but we're wanting to do the DTF transfers in custom. So what we're going to do is come over to the right side, and you're going to need to select a size. So we're going to go with an adult 11 inch. You can see that it is $5.12 for one print. And then you can just go right down the line and read the instructions to make sure you're not missing anything, because Etsy shops have very specific instructions and they tell you exactly how you need to order their prints. Every Etsy shop is going to be different. So you can see there's an asterisk here that says add your personalization. It says, please send the files via Etsy messages in PNG format. If you are a Makers Gonna Learn member, you know that we have thousands of PNGs for you all to use on your t-shirts. And it says that the background is not transparent, please add remove background. So this is really nice because they're gonna remove the background for you. You just need to let them know to do it beforehand. And then you're gonna check out together with the order. You need to specify the print color. So if you just want it in full color, just say true color or full color. And then right here, you can type in your details. So what I'm gonna do is type in the name of the file that I want to use today. So let's hop over to the Makers Gonna Learn website and look at the files that we've got. So we're just gonna select new cut files. You can even go to cut files up here on the top of the dashboard. And then we can just search whatever we want. I'm gonna do a floral Makers Gonna Learn file. This is our logo image. I am obsessed with this logo. I think it's so cute with the flowers around it. And what you're gonna do is download that image, and then you can see it comes into a zip folder and it is a PNG. Now, in my description of my Etsy listing, I'm gonna type in floral-mgl-logo2. That way they know whenever they receive this image that I'm the person who ordered that image. So it's matching up exactly. So if your file name matches your description and your personalization, it's gonna be a lot better communication with the shop owner. And then under quantity, you're gonna be able to put in how many you want. So say we wanted 3. We're making 3 t-shirts. We'll go ahead and put in 3, and then you can go to buy it now. And then you can always check like when it's going to ship out and things like that. If you're running a business, things like ship dates are very important. You're going to need to make sure that it's getting here in time for whenever you're expected to deliver your product to your customer. So make sure you're paying attention to things like this as well. So once you've paid for your items, you're going to want to go to the Flower Fashion Store homepage, and there's going to be a little contact button beneath the shop owner's name. It's typically on the top right. I'm going to select contact, and it's just going to pop up this little message right here. All we need to say is I purchased 3 of the Floral MGL Logo 2 images, and I was just letting you know in case you hadn't received them yet. And if you need the background removed, this is the time when you let them know that you need them to remove the background. And we do want the background removed from our images, so I'm going to make sure to include that in my message. And then you are just going to send this from here. And that's it. You're pretty much going to rinse and repeat on any of the other Etsy shops that sell the DTF transfers. Obviously, just follow the directions on each individual shop, and they will tell you exactly what you need to do. Another thing I want to talk about when you're purchasing DTF transfers from different Etsy shops, especially in the beginning, they're all going to have different heat and time settings. So you may get some that want you to do it at 350 for 15 seconds, or some that want you to do it for a little bit lower temp for less time. Make sure that you're going back in and checking with the actual Etsy shops that you purchase from, and then you're using their exact heat settings so that you get a good result every time you press your transfers on. Now that we've talked about our transfers, I want to talk about ordering your shirts. So typically, whenever you start a t-shirt business, I think a lot of people want to jump and order a bunch of shirts in bulk. And I want to encourage you all to be cautious whenever you do that, because you don't know how many orders you're going to have up front. You do want to have enough to practice with, and you want to also find some shirts that you really, really like. We love the Comfort Colors brand. You can purchase those at Hobby Lobby and other major stores like that. You can order them off of Amazon even. But you just want to really make sure that you're finding the right shirt and then finding a supplier that gives you the best deal. Now that we've talked about all the details, let's go ahead and press these transfers. Okay, so I've got my shirt laid out on the counter. I'm using a flat surface, and what I'm gonna do is take this t-shirt measuring tool. I'm gonna line it up with the center of my tag, And a lot of you all have seen people press their shirts in half in order to find the direct center. That's a little hack that you can use if you want. So I'm just gonna line it up with the tag. That way we know that we are perfectly in the center. And this is gonna be about 3 to 4 finger widths from the collar line. So I'm just lining this up at this bottom seam. And I'm gonna scooch this up, and we're gonna go ahead and start with the flower fashion transfer. So this is a 10-inch transfer from them, and I'm gonna trim off this excess because we don't really need that. We just wanna be working with the portion of the transfer that we need. And then what I like to do, this is when I'm doing vinyl or anything like that, I like to fold my design in half to find a halfway mark. So I'm just gonna go to the back. This logo is pretty symmetrical, the light bulb is. I'm just gonna make a little crease right there, a little crease at the top and a little crease at the bottom. And that way, whenever we go to line it up here, I can line this center line up with all of my bends in my transfer. What's different about this opposed to heat transfer vinyl or other heat transfer items, the transfer sheet, like the carrier sheet, is not sticky. It is not sticky at all. It almost feels like a vellum paper. It's very matte feeling. So this is gonna be moving freely unless we tape it down. So I've got some heat tape right here. I'm just gonna tape a couple pieces so that this does not move. So you just need a couple pieces to hold it in place, nothing crazy. And then what we're gonna do is follow the exact instructions from the store owner. So they're telling us that we need to do it at 350 for 15 seconds, and then we're going to let it cool. Now, they did also mention that it needs to be at 70 PSI, which is the pressure amount for your heat press. 70 PSI is a very high pressure. I've heard a lot of people use like a medium pressure when they're doing these. I did initially use a medium pressure, but the high pressure is the best result. So we're gonna do high pressure, 350 for 15 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and put butcher paper down on the bottom, mainly because we use our press for lots of different crafts, including sublimation. I do not wanna get any of that sublimation residue onto my white shirt. And then I'm gonna have another piece to go on top of my transfer. You can apply these, if you have a Cricut Easy Press, you could totally do this with an Easy Press. Just make sure whenever you're purchasing your transfers that you are getting a size that's gonna fit underneath your entire press. So if you only have like a 10-inch press, you don't wanna get a 12-inch design because it's not gonna have a solid seal all the way around, and it may not be as consistent. So if you've got a pretty big press, these 10 to 11-inch size files are gonna work perfectly. So we're gonna go ahead and lay this on top. This is just white butcher's paper, and our heat is at 350, and we're gonna go ahead and press this for 20 seconds. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the butcher's paper off, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna peel this off. I'm going to slide this off and then slide it on to this cool surface. So these need to completely cool down before you actually remove the transfer. So this is super toasty right now, but this cool countertop is gonna cool them down very quickly. I'm gonna actually flip this over just to cool it down a little bit faster. Okay, and then we're going to, now that it's completely cooled, I mean, this is cool to touch, we're gonna slowly remove the transfer. Now, if we see that it's pulling up, we can repress it in 5-second increments just to make sure that it is completely down. And how beautiful is that? That looks so good, y'all. Let's go ahead and try our other transfer people and see how theirs does compared to this one. Okay, so this is the other print that we've got. This is from Fast Custom Prints, and I've linked both of these shops below for you all. So if you favor one over the other one, or if you want to try them both, you're going to have the access to their Etsy shops in the description. But what I'm going to do is put my t-shirt guide up to the back of my sweatshirt, and I can see the stitching of the tag right here. So I'm lining up the center with my tag. And this is the back of the sweatshirt for this one. So I'm actually going to be making these into a pocket tee, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this off for now. And we're just going to do the back. And same as before, I'm going to fold this in half. So we've got a middle mark. And then I'm going to use that as a guide to line up with the center of my guideline. So once you've got it in place where you want it, we're just going to take a few pieces of this heat tape to secure it down. And then we are going to slide it into our press. Now this one is 350 for 20 seconds, and this is a cool peel as well. Now I will say some people pre-press their shirts a lot before they actually apply the transfer. You could pre-press this and then lay it down here to line up your design and stuff. It just takes a minute to line your transfers up sometimes. So the shirt is cooled down by then usually. So I feel like I just skip that step because it's not necessarily that important. It may help it adhere a little bit, but honestly, if you wanted to, you could just repress it for a little bit longer. Okay, so now that that's done, we're gonna let this cool down completely and then we will peel it off. Now that it's cooled, we're gonna go ahead and remove the transfer. And look how good that looks. I love the colors in these. This color right here is so good. I love it. So I wanted to give you all a side-by-side comparison of both of them, and not to compare the shops because the shops are amazing and they work hard for their money, but I really wanted to show you all what you need to compare whenever you're trying to decide which supplier that you want to go with. So for me, I personally, just right off the bat, I really like the more saturated colors. Now you may be more drawn to these colors over here. That can be something that even talking with the shop owner, if they can adjust the colors, if you can let them know that maybe it was a little bit off last time and they can work with you to fix it. Those are things that you can discuss with the shop owner. But like right off the bat, this is more true to color to the design that we pulled up off of Maker's Gonna Learn. So I really like that about this. They both feel great. Like these feel very professional. Whenever you order these and use them, it's gonna blow your mind. Like they feel so good. They feel super high quality, and that's what I love about the DTF transfers. So, I mean, really, I press these exactly how they're supposed to. I think a lot of it's gonna come down to customer service and just simply what you prefer. Even shipping times, like some shops are gonna ship a little bit faster than others. So those are things that you're gonna need to consider whenever you're choosing your correct supplier. So even though we press these on white shirts today, the good thing about the DTF transfers is that you can actually press these on all sorts of colors. I mean, you could press this on black and the pigment is going to show up really well. You just need to make sure you're paying attention to the colors in your design so you're not losing design elements because the part of the design is the same color as your shirt. So lots of perks to using the DTF transfers. We really love this technique for running a t-shirt business just because you can do so much in bulk and it looks such high quality. I hope you all were able to take at least a few tidbits from this video to inspire you to start your own t-shirt business. We would love for you to become a member if you're not already. Just go to the Maker's Gonna Learn website and join us there. We will see you all in the next video. Bye.